I'm Brittany.
And I'm Heather.
Welcome to Okayest Moms, the podcast.
A place to be more than just mom.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Okayest Moms, the podcast. Brittany, can we talk about Easter baskets and how Easter has become spring Christmas?
Yes, it's gotten so ridiculous.
It's just over the top. And I know part of it is just like influencer culture and look at all these things I can link and throw in a basket. And some of it, like, look, I know that there are moms out there who just like love to go over the top for the holidays and like, fine. And that's always been there. And we have always been proponents of if you truly love that, then do that. But I think there is becoming a bigger portion of moms, because it's the moms who are doing this, that are doing it just because they feel like they have to keep up. And it's perpetuating this ostentatious Easter basket situation. And I'm done with it.
Yeah, it's a lot. What do your kids get in their Easter basket? Do you push back against all the crazy?
I feel like I never really got into the crazy. We're not a very religious family, so Easter is not a huge holiday for us. And I've kind of always used it, much like this is my philosophy for stockings as well. Here's a bunch of shit that I was going to buy you anyway, but it's timed with this holiday, so I'm going to present it as a gift. So there's always like sandals or a bathing suit or like something that's because the weather's always changing around this time. And you know, of course, the things that they had for this season last year never fit again. And so here's things I was going to buy you anyway because you will use them and you will need them. But now it's in a basket instead of just throwing at you in a Target bag.
Yes. And also just like a ton of candy because that's all they really want.
I've even stopped doing the candy. Because both grandmothers cannot, like they think someone must have like threatened their life and said, if you don't present your grandchildren with 18 pounds of sugar every single time you see them,
Every holiday,
I will kill you. No, not even a holiday. It's just like, no, literally just like, hey, it's a Tuesday afternoon and I saw you. Here is this cookie the size of your head that I saw that I thought you needed. It's like, what? Just please stop. And so it takes out all the fun for me. Plus, we still have Valentine candy. We still have Halloween candy in our pantry, which I just need to pull the cord on and just be done with. But there's so much candy and I have a big sweet tooth and it's too much even for me. There's just sweets every time I turn around.
Oh, I know. We still have Halloween candy too. And I just have been periodically tossing a handful of it so nobody notices.
Well, and then AJ's also, that's his love language is like buying treats. And I'm like, please stop. I don't want any more candy because I don't know. We just like have so much candy lately and cookies and treats. And although I guess I did perpetuate this because have you seen there's this like 5-pound chocolate peanut butter pie at Costco that's like been all over the internet that everyone's just like raving about because it just tastes like a giant Reese's, and Reese's are my weakness. And I saw it at Costco and of course, I had to spend $20 on this pie, which was taking. It's not as great as I wanted it to be. It's like the chocolate moussey part is kind of grainy.
Ew.
And like it's not as smooth as it should be. The peanut butter part's delicious. But anyway, but I feel like I can't even go buy fun stuff like that I actually want because there's just so much other garbage around us at all times.
And it's never like good quality candy.
It's the dollar store Palmer chocolate, which is just like so disgusting. I know. No, my mom texted me the other day because she's not a chocolate gal. And she was, does she want Peeps or cotton candy? And they're probably like, neither, because those are both disgusting things. But if you must, I guess a Peep, because she will like those.
It's hard in our family because as much as Sully would love some milk chocolate, he can't have it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of that, like, then he asks for cotton candy and gummy bears and So I feel you. It's a lot. And I honestly
I
read
will
it.
say Easter is the superior candy holiday, though.
Mm.
The Cadbury mini eggs, I've limited myself to one bag. That's all I will buy. And
Are those
nearly
the
gone.
ones with the cream in the middle?
Oh, God, no.
Oh,
No.
like
That is a Cadbury egg. These are the mini eggs. They're entirely different. Yes, it's solid Cadbury chocolate, and then it has a candy coating like an M&M, but far superior.
Oh, okay.
They're very good.
Or the candy.
I
Sure. So
listen. I cannot stand a plain M&M. That is like I have to be very hard up to eat a plain M&M. And these are
or peanut butter?
I will go. Yes, I will crush a bag of peanut M&Ms. Those are like my fave. But a plain M&M is just it's just there's nothing exciting about it. But these Cadbury mini eggs are like a plain M&M's hotter older sister. They're just so much better, worth your time.
Oh, well, that took a turn.
I don't know. It's all out of control. And I do blame the internet for it. And maybe a little bit the pandemic, because I guess I have gone a little bit overboard in years past, because the things that my kids are recollecting about the Easter Bunny and baskets and egg hunts. And I'm like, that was me? I did those things? I mean, I'm sorry, the Easter Bunny did those things. I'm like, I don't remember that. But maybe they're just getting it all mixed up because of the grandmas included in all of it. I know.
I was just thinking back on our Easters, and I'm kind of like thinking, oh God, I'm the problem. Like, I think there's like this lull in between Christmas and like summer, and we're like all exhausted and whatever. And especially during the pandemic, like you said, and I just usually go overboard, but not this year. I am being very conscious about my buying this year. But
all right. So after this break, we are going to jump into what we've been feeding our families lately.
ready or not, summer break is just around the corner. Summer camps, clinics, rehearsals, appointments, vacations, barbecues. We've got some social time to make up for this summer, and we've got just the thing to help you keep your summer straight.
The Essential Calendar Summer Break Calendar allows you to see the entire summer, all 3 months at a glance, making sure you don't overbook or underbook depending on how many extroverts you have in your family. It also makes it easy for mom to keep track of that all-important countdown to the first day of school.
If you're ready to get a handle on more than just the summer, make sure to check out the annual calendar 5-sheet bundle, which will take you all the way through mid-2024 and includes a year-at-a-glance sheet as well.
The Essential Calendar really is one of our most favorite items. It's the easiest way to have a landing spot for the family's information, and it's pretty enough to put anywhere in your house for all to see. Okayest Moms listeners can get 10% off their order. Go to okayestmoms.com/essential or click through the link in our show notes to get your discount.
When is the last time you replaced your bra? How about your underwear? If you're anything like us, it's probably been longer than you can remember. We get it, bras are expensive, bodies and sizes change, and the search for comfortable options can be never ending.
Enter Harper Wild. Harper Wild is a female-founded company that offers affordable and comfortable bras and underwear in extended sizing ranging from extra small to 4XL. They offer wireless and underwire bra styles, as well as underwear options ranging from everyday, no-show waist panties to cheeky luxe thongs, so there's something for everyone.
Harper Wild also offers a bra recycling program. Each purchase comes with a free mailer to fill up with old bras and underwear. All you have to do is ship it back, and Harper Wild handles the rest.
You deserve to remember the last time you bought yourself a new bra. Check out the current limited color drops and the full product line at the link in our show notes. Okayest Moms listeners can get 15% off their orders with code GOWILD Okayest Moms. That's WILDE, WILDE.
Well, the week that we are talking about this has been our spring break, so this is not a typical week, but it is like a good roundup of things that we would typically make. So some of these things are a little more time intensive, labor intensive, because I had the time to do them. But for some reason, I found myself cooking more this week when we were all home than I would on a regular week. And I don't know if it's maybe like we haven't done takeout at all this week yet. So maybe I felt like maybe I felt like I had to cook more because I had the time and we weren't really doing a lot. We were mostly hanging out at home. So maybe I didn't rely on takeout as much as I would have on a regular week. I don't know. But I found my formula has been to cook 3 meals, and that seems to be enough for lunches and leftovers and all those things. So I don't really know what happened here. I'm kind of mad about it because now I'm annoyed about cooking again.
All right. So Sunday, I had a bunch of leftover rotisserie chicken, which I can't even remember why I initially bought the rotisserie chicken, but that's neither here nor there. And then I turned that into enchiladas, which was a huge hit. I got Isla to eat some enchiladas, and she's our more adventurous eater, so it wasn't like that big of a shock. Now that she's determined that she likes the Mexican flavor profile, like she's more willing to try all of the other things.
Nice.
So, yeah, big win in our house, and I was able to make a double batch, and so now I have a tray of enchiladas in the freezer, which I'm really proud of myself.
I always pat myself on the back.
I'm so proud of myself. And have you seen the Tortilla Land tortillas? They're like raw tortillas that you have to toast up, which is another step, which is not a huge step, but when you're doing something like enchiladas, it's kind of it's a whole other step because you have to fry up the tortillas on each side so they're not raw. Huge difference. They're the most delicious tortillas ever made, and highly recommend. Then I used your recipe for enchilada sauce, which I have linked in our show notes too.
Oh yeah, those are the best. I think I'm gonna make those for Easter actually.
Very
Easter, because I don't want
ham. Damn it.
I love ham.
It's fine, but
I love like the ham leftovers because you can do a split pea with the ham bone.
I do like that.
And then I have this recipe, which I can link to in case you find yourself the Tuesday after Easter with ham coming out of your eyeballs. There's a recipe for ham and cheese scones, which is so good. That's like my favorite thing to make with them.
That sounds really good.
Can I take a quick sidebar to tell you a funny story about leftover ham?
Please.
So a few years ago, we had hosted Easter or something, and I had so much leftover ham, like so much. And I had been trying to, I think, give some to my neighbor or something. I can't remember what prompted this text, but I was texting her about how much I had left over while also texting a contractor who I was trying to line up to get work done on our house. So I said something along the lines to who I thought was my neighbor, along the lines of, I can't eat any more ham. I think my body is starting to reject it. Except I accidentally sent it to the contractor. Apropos of nothing. So this poor guy, I think we were talking about getting our backsplash tiled, and he all of a sudden he gets this random note about my body eating too much. He did not respond, and he did not tile our backsplash.
Come on, he didn't play along. That's the best thing to do.
Honestly, I don't even know how you play along with that. So always triple check who you're texting.
Oh God, don't I know it? I am still very much in my lazy, don't want to cook era. My biggest tip this week is to teach your kids how to make scrambled eggs, because then they get their protein and they can make their own meal. My 8-year-old is very obsessed with cooking on his own right now, and I taught him how to make scrambled eggs, and he can do it all by himself now through cleanup, which is like, I have arrived as a parent. And scrambled eggs, they protein. It's like a full meal. And if you want to throw in some more protein, I get those Applegate frozen sausages, and he can heat those up by himself in the microwave, and then full-blown breakfast or dinner, whatever.
Okay, well, step number 1 is to get your kids to actually eat a scrambled egg. Both of my kids
Cover it in ketchup like he does.
No. Eggs are their kryptonite. in my house.
Gosh, I know. Well, I have one kid like that. So this really only works for half of my children. But a few of the other things, well, another thing I've been making a lot because it's super easy is the Big Mac bowl that we have actually on our website. It's so easy. It's shredded lettuce, ground beef, cheese, pickles. You can put whatever you want in it that is Big Mac-esque. And then there's a fancy sauce recipe on there that is delish. And I, coming from used to be like very recently, just started liking pickles. And I really love this recipe. So it is well, 3/4 of our family will eat it. So that's a win over here.
75% is passing. All right, another one I did this week is from Baked by Melissa on TikTok. And she makes these like insane salads, which have so many different vegetables and things like I wouldn't even think to put together, but always taste so delicious. This one has chopped kale, shaved Brussels sprouts, and shredded carrots, green onions, and pepitas. And the dressing is a vegan Caesar, but she makes it with hummus and like lemon juice and a little bit of pickle juice. And it's just so good. And but it is the kind of salad you can only eat like one day at a time. You can't eat leftovers the next day. You need some time in between all that fiber.
Yeah, no kidding.
But it's super good.
Shredded Brussels sprout. Great salad.
I got one of those choppers for Christmas, and it has the like mandolin thing on it with the big giant guard so you don't slice your finger off. And it's currently my favorite kitchen tool. I'll link mine in the show notes too, because it really does make everything so much quicker.
Yeah, please do, because I think I need one of those.
The other thing that I made this week was kind of not planned, and we had a really weird day here in our city, town, whatever it is. And it was just a lot of things happened. And I mean, that's a whole other sidebar conversation. But it was just a weird emotional day. And I needed something comforting. And also, I kind of missed the window for takeout where it's like, I didn't time it well and I was already hungry. And anyways, I had ground beef in the fridge that needed to be used up. And I pulled this recipe out of the depths of my brain, which I don't know how I came up with it and I had all the ingredients. It was just like, it was the perfect thing for the perfect day. And it was homemade Hamburger Helper, which I don't know about you, but I grew up on Hamburger Helper. We had that at least once. Yeah, like at least once a week, at least. So it's the cheeseburger version, which is obviously like the superior Hamburger Helper. And I can't find the recipe I use anymore. It's no longer available on this person's website, but I linked the closest thing I could find. The one that I linked uses way more dairy. It has like sour cream in it too. And mine is very Spartan. It's just got the meat and the cheese and some spices and some milk, and you like let it all boil, and it tastes exactly like the regular stuff without all the chemicals.
MSG.
Yeah.
Because the weather has been so freaking cold here, I have been doing soups well into April because usually it's warming up by now, but it hasn't. But one of my favorites to do, and it's so easy, is it's basically a knockoff zuppa toscana from Olive Garden, and I'll link that recipe in. But I do swap out the potatoes for couscous, which sounds weird, but it works so well in this recipe. And they don't like it. My mom, where I got this idea is my mom switches out the potatoes for gnocchi, but like in leftovers, the gnocchi get like super bloated and gross.
Yeah.
And so I don't love that. So I tried it with couscous and it is so good. And they don't, couscous are teeny and they don't really do that. So very good. And I will link it in the show notes.
Oh, speaking of couscous, I totally forgot a meal that I cooked this week because I feel like all I've been doing is
Your cooking machine.
That's all I've been doing. I found at Trader Joe's, the unexpected cheddar line of products. So, but I did impulse buy these unexpected cheddar sausages, which just sounded delightful. And because if you've ever had the unexpected cheddar, like cheese block. It's very good. They have it shredded now. They have it in spread form. I was like, of course, this is going to be delicious in a sausage. So I chopped that up and air fried it with some veggies that needed to be eaten and put it over couscous. And it was like delish.
I love couscous. It is so underrated.
It is. Yeah. But that's been a go-to lately. Other weeks too. Just when there's veggies that need to be eaten, just chopping up all of the veggies, slicing up a sausage, maybe doing some kind of grain, maybe not, and just calling it a day. And it's, again, I will take a couple nibbles of some sausage. She like sniffed a piece of asparagus the other day. Like things are happening.
Things are happening. I love it. That's really all I have is in a repeat. If you didn't listen to our last What We're Feeding Our Families episode, I mentioned that basically every single week I'm making like 2 pounds of some kind of taco meat for my child who is obsessed with tacos. And then we end up just eating tacos one night, eating taco salad the next night. I even did a taco soup that I used some of it in before. So it's very helpful to already have like the protein prepped, and then it makes, weeknight dinner super easy. So we did that again this week. It's pretty boring, but I feel like it's like real life,
That's what I've come to learn is that there's a difference between liking to cook and wanting to try new recipes and, working with seasonal ingredients and all those things. But that's not for weeknight meals. That's for weekends. That's for holidays. Right. Right now, things don't have to be exciting. It's a means to an end. Everyone's hungry. We need everyone to eat so that they can go to sleep. If that means we're eating the same things over and over, then that's fine. And honestly, it is boring to me after a certain period of time, but it also makes my life so much easier because my grocery shopping list is always the same. The rhythm of when to make what meal when in the week, because this one will make more leftovers and this one won't, and whatever. Like, I've gotten into a good routine, and in these last few months, things have just really needed to be simplified at home and on weeknights, and that's been one way to do it. And if that means we eat a lot of tacos, then that's fine.
Yeah. And the other priority for me too is to have lunch for the next day. Otherwise, I will not stop and make myself a lunch meal. So
Totally.
It's always, will I be able to eat this tomorrow?
Right. No, having extra lunch is very key for me. One day I did decide, I just really need a sandwich. And
that sandwich
I DoorDashed myself a giant turkey sub. I went all out. I got the chips. I got the cookie.
Yeah.
It was like $35.
I'm sure it was.
And I was like, this is so stupid, but it's so delicious. And it was just like such a hard day. And it just made me so happy to have like a really good sandwich that I didn't have to make and like bring and sit in a fridge all day. Like, it was just such a good pick me up. And it was worth the $35, but also I'm like, I can't do this again.
Maybe once a month.
Yeah. So yeah, leftovers are key. I've even started making my kids eat leftovers too, which is a new thing in our house. But that's been, if I feel like I've mentioned this 100 times, but if you're new, my kids, the choice in our house is you eat what I'm making, some part of it, whatever works for you, or you get half of a peanut butter and jelly. And recently, Nolan has been getting very frustrated with eating a peanut butter and jelly. It literally took
a while,
3 years. And on the nose, because I started this about a month into the pandemic. So we're literally 3 years to the day. And he's in that weird space where he doesn't want that, but he also doesn't want what we're cooking. And he, even the hamburger helper, we're like, dude, it is a noodle covered in cheese. He only eats white or orange foods, basically. I'm like, these are in your safe zones. Just try it. And he smelled it and just could not do it. So I started saying, fine, you can have a leftover or your peanut butter and jelly or what I'm making. And so sometimes the leftovers, sometimes they'll get lucky and they'll be like, their special mac and cheese that got made on a weekend or something that's left over. But so yeah, I'm trying to acclimate them to leftovers too.
Smart.
If they're desperate enough, it'll work. If you're looking for any of those recipes, they're linked in the show notes, so make sure you check those out. And we also periodically share recipes on Instagram and stories, so make sure you're following us there at Okayest Moms Podcast. And we'll see you next week.
If you like what you just heard, and we hope you do, you can find more of us online at www.okayestmoms.com. We're also on all social media platforms, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Okayest Moms Blog. Or if you want to, you can send us an email at hey@okayestmoms.com.